bounce around the next corner.
Yeah, I think that what happens in this fight is Yair hurts him more than Volk has ever been hurt before. But Volk's grit and his toughness and his resilience will see it through, and he will dominate just about most of the fight, and he'll win a decision. It's going to go to points. It's going to be a relatively fair 48-47 win for Volk, with one judge giving him 49-46. But in the rounds that Yair wins and the moments that he has, they're going to be devastating. Like, it's going to be a factor of Yair nearly finishing Volk 2 or 3 times throughout the fight, but not finishing him. And largely it's because his finishing technique isn't actually that good. If he doesn't get the flash KO, his ability to finish the fight from then on in is not actually that good. And that's a problem. That's a hole in Yair's game. But he won't finish Volk unless he gets a flash KO. And I just don't see that happening. So there is a caveat to that, though. There is a chance that he could finish Volk by body shot. It's hard. It's not likely, but anybody can cave to a body shot. Doesn't matter who you are, and I can see that happening as well. But I don't think it's likely. I think that the most likely thing is going points, and I think Volk will control the majority of the fight. And he will bust up Yair as well himself, because Yair gets bust up in all his fights. He does leave himself open. Defensively, Yair is not great, but offensively he's amazing. And I think that he'll take one to give one, but the ones that he gives are substantial, and he will almost finish Volk a number of times. And maybe again it gets a little bit not controversial, but there's a little bit of a debate there after the fight, and whether or not you could arguably say that Yair won because of the way he hurt him in those rounds. It'll be one of those classic scenarios where it'll be like, is the 10-9 scoring system really that great for MMA? Because it's very clear that the rounds that Yair won were 10-9s and the rounds that Volk won were 10-9s, because in the rounds that Yair won, Volk did land some shots on him as well, and have his takedown moments maybe, but Yair nearly fucking kills him every time he lands on him. So it's like that sort of weird, well, where do you draw the line between 10-9 and 10-8? Because it's just, so I think it's going to be one of those things. I think it's going to be the best Yair Rodríguez we've ever seen. The only way that is not the case is if Volk throws him off his game completely by keeping him guessing with chain wrestling and clever footwork, which I think is quite likely to happen as well. But I do think Yair has his moments either way. But regardless of how that, the meat of the fight is, it's going to end in Volk winning by points. And I think that 48-47, 48-47, 49-46 is the most likely result. Best case scenario for Yair is a split decision, but he still loses. Worst case scenario for Volk would be he gets body shotted maybe, but I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be a much closer fight than people think it's going to be. And if you don't put respect on Yair's name after this fight, if it goes the way I'm saying, then you're just go watch fucking something else, because why waste everyone's time? Same as hating on O'Malley after the Yarn fight. In fact, that's a good comparison. I think it will look very similar to the Yarn fight, but I don't think Rodríguez will win. In terms of the way it went, we didn't really expect O'Malley to be that competitive sort of against Yarn. It'd be kind of like that, but it'll be a bit more clear cut that Volk wins. And I hope Volk wins, because I do want to have a second crack against Islam. So, but I want Yair. I love Yair. He's one of my favorite fighters. Though my only critique of him is he doesn't fight enough. So,
yeah, I would second that. I think Yair is one of my favorite fighters as well. I am starting to come around with Volk though.
No, I like Volk. Especially since the Islam fight, I was rooting for him.
Purely because the Islam fight.
Yeah, but
I like him a bit more, and his banter.
Yeah, I don't like. Let's put it this way: I like him a lot more when he's not with Izzy. I don't like him when he's with Izzy. I don't like Izzy at all, and I just feel like Izzy's personality rubs off on him a little bit. I don't like. I feel like they're not really friends, but they're just kind of like forcing themselves to be because they train together. That's it. But I don't really feel like they're proper friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like when I look at this fight, I think I'm excited.
I'll be on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I'll be on the edge
For
of my
sure.
seat. I feel like this is one of the biggest threats to Volk. I think anyone that looks at the Edgar fight against Yair and is worried because of that, I think needs to get their head checked.
Mhm.
You know, I think that fight was 6 years ago.
And yeah, it was like 23.
Yeah, Yair was very inexperienced. He still had the striking game, but his grappling game was very inexperienced. You can definitely see the improvements he's made over the years. Even against Holloway was forced to take him down because of the striking, and then he was still able to.
That was
get
boxing
out.
as well. That was punches for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even kicks. It was mostly punches.
But I almost feel like that's because Holloway stands in the pocket, and I think this is what I'm kind of conflicted about, because I feel like Volk right now, he's at the top of the mountain in terms of social status, in terms of his fighting career. He's at his peak. He's got his recognition. Right now, he's got that sort of limelight of pound for pound contention. So I feel he's gonna have that ego, you know. He's gonna have that cockiness, and I think he's gonna make the mistake of standing up way too much or way too long with Yair early on. And I think that's going to be a detriment to Volk. And I think he's going to get caught significantly enough where it's going to force him to try and grapple. I think he might, in round one, he's going to get hurt. I think he's going to want to kind of deter the fans and sort of the press and thinking, oh, I have to take him down. Oh, I can't stand with this guy. He's gonna almost do that sort of typical wrestler mentality of, I can stand with a striker. I don't have to use my grappling. I'm gonna show you. He's gonna do that. And he's gonna find out. I think he's gonna get caught with a head kick, because I feel like when you look at the Holloway fight with Volk, that second fight with Holloway, Volk was getting caught. Volk was getting lit up, and I thought he lost. But
yeah, he did lose that second fight.
The third fight, he adapted and changed massively.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But he can't adapt and change in the fight. That's a weakness of Volk. He hasn't got the IQ to change in the fight, and I think that's something that he's gonna struggle with Yair, because Yair can switch up shots, especially with his kicks, in so many different ways. He'll hit you with a leg, in the body, and then in the head. And I think Volk is going to eat a body kick hard enough that his elbow drops, and he's going to be worried about getting hit there again, and he's going to get head kicked. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets question mark kicked. Like,
what do you think the chances are that Rodriguez wins by KO, by spectacular KO?
I think if Yair was to win, that's probably 75% chance of how he wins. How the fight goes out, I feel like Volk wins this fight 6 out of 10 times. It's so close, maybe even like a 5.5. And like, maybe it's not even a bias thing. I just feel like matchmaking wise, and I think mentality wise, where Volk is going to play a massive significant part. I think if Volk was on the rise and wasn't the champion stuff, I think it would be different because
Mhm.
Volk will go in with that game plan. But I feel like Volk right now is at a different part of his life. I don't know if he's going to be thinking about the Islam fight because he wants to get that back or whatever. But yeah, I think, like I said, I feel like he's not going to be able to adapt and change in the fight, and that's going to be his detriment. I think Yair is going to catch him. If Volk takes him down and is able to lay on top, you have to hope that because Yair is very aggressive off his back, throws a lot of elbows, strikes, puts in butterflies. He tries to get up. He's not willing to just lay there and wait out the clock. But if Volk can't do significant damage on top, and we go into a new round, Volk's gonna find it hard to survive. I think I can definitely see a decision, and it being sort of controversial, of kind of like the Islam fight. Like you don't know what way it's gonna go. You kind of feel like it should go one way, but questionably it could go another way. But I feel like Yair's gonna beat him KO round 3. I honestly
I wish I had.
think
I wish I had the ball you did.
I honestly think
Yeah.
Volk is gonna bite on a body feint and boom head.
I can see it. I can see him biting and just like leading in and getting smacked in the temple. I really can. I just for some reason don't see that finishing him. I see him surviving and getting back. I don't know. It's tough.
But like Volk's got a coconut head, right? But it goes back to what you said earlier. The speed and power of Yair's kicks. I don't think anyone's surviving that, bro. Like the whip
But
on that, I don't think
but
even Volk survived
it just makes me think because like he didn't throw that many kicks against Max, and you have to ask why that was.
No, because he didn't want to get countered.
Does he have the
When
same
he
fear here, but maybe just with a takedown instead, or even just getting locked up?
No, I don't even think he even thought Max would even go for a takedown. I think he knows.
No, I'm
Max is
saying that like it's the same. Like he was obviously worried about Max countering, but not worried so much about Volk countering, but more about Volk catching the leg and
problem. If you're a kicker, you need space. He knows Max is going to push forward. He knows Max is going to be in his face, so it's going to be harder to throw kicks. So you have to gain that distance throwing punches. He threw quite a significant amount of kicks, especially to the leg. I expect Yair to try and eat up Volk's legs, and he has to. He's got to kick the legs and move.